All right, Chance, I'm really excited to get to talk to you today because your school has really been crushing it the last, I don't know, 10 weeks that we started. Had such
Yes,
tremendous growth that we had to add classes and deal with also growing pains that comes with growth, right? So a lot of really good problems and issues. I know that we had just this month, we talked about 27 new students, 17 net new. And most of them
correct.
coming from all organic strategies you didn't pay for. I don't think you're even running Facebook ads at the moment, are you?
No,
Yeah,
actually, we haven't gotten one student off of the last 27 that we enrolled that wasn't a direct result of the programs that we're doing that you taught us, or referrals from one of those people. So
wow.
actually, no students that were not gotten organically.
That's incredible. And obviously we will want to tune into those ads eventually and get the website popping too, but at least this
Sure.
you can control, which is the most
Right.
important. So tell us a little bit about your business and your martial arts school and your background with your school.
Okay. So I started teaching summer classes when I was 15, 30 million years ago. I bought my first school when I was 17, and I'm 51, and I've never done anything but run martial arts schools.
Mm. And you took over, it was like in the family business, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I bought my first school from dad.
Okay. So tell me about some of the issues that you were having when you first joined the, W Dojo, started working with me.
Well, mainly it's last year I had gotten lazy and kind of took my eye off the ball because I thought that digital marketing was this magic bullet because I don't understand anything about it. And I don't, nor do I want to understand anything about it. So I was paying a service to digitally market my school, and it worked great for 30, 60 days. And then the trickle just, it was like a kink in the garden hose. And since I don't understand it, I felt like I'd paid a wizard to cast spells to bring new students in, and they stopped casting the spells or the spells stopped working, and that was the feeling. And I just got this trickle, and I didn't know what to do. Um, my forte is people and in relationships with people, and not algorithms and ROI, and that's not my thing. So kind of when I found out about your program and what it entailed, I realized like this is something I can do,
Hmm.
that gives me a little control back.
So why did you choose W Dojo's program, my program, specifically over anything else you might have done?
Because I've got mentors, I've got paid mentors that work with me, and they're great. My school has been revolutionized by the Kovars. I still get mentoring from them and about the running of the day-to-day operations and class structure and instructor certification and all that kind of stuff. But watched one of your podcasts, and I don't remember who it was, but I remember you specifically talking about how you grew your own schools. Talking about the daycares and the schools, and that you had this system where you could do those things and it brought people in. Because I've done those things that didn't bring people in. And I know that I've gone and taught PE classes and this and that and the other and crushed it and got no students off of it. And if there was a systemized way of checking boxes a certain way that would make that amount of work, because it is a lot of work, to make it actually benefit the school, I wanted to learn how to do it.
Hmm.
So it was one of your podcasts, and I heard you talking about it.
Hmm. So you control the flow of
Right.
students, and it's hard work. It's not easy work, right? I never claim it
Ton of
is,
work.
right? I am not that wizard that's gonna get you a bunch of leads from a Facebook ad. They're gonna show up and just enroll, right? And I think a lot of
Right.
people are very frustrated in similar situations where I tried going to schools before, I tried going to daycares before. And it's not their fault. They did a lot of the right things to get in. They just didn't have a system for actually converting them to
Right.
from, a fun class that they taught to actually becoming paying tuition students at their school, right?
Right.
So what in particular about the program do you feel like has really helped you? Like, why do you feel like it's so effective?
Well, I think it's so effective because I have a great work ethic. I'm a very hard worker, but your system seems to, it's like the difference between you know uh what's the, like an Impala with a 454 in it versus a Miata with a highly efficient engine. Um, what I mean by that is I don't have a problem working my butt off, but I want that work to actually be effective to grow my school. And in your program, it doesn't seem like there's 1 second of work that doesn't have a reason behind it. Like it's designed to enroll students in the school rather than just throwing stuff against the wall and hoping that it sticks, which is what I've done my whole life.
Right. That's cool. So was there something specifically that we did that you feel like was really effective to actually convert those students?
Yes, absolutely. Having the 3 class 30-minute thing, because that's a lot of work. Like when I went into the daycares to do that, that's a lot of work, but it's not an extraordinary amount of work. It's three 30-minute classes and a white belt ceremony. Like that specifically, um, of okay, do it this way, teach it this way. And of course, I'm Chance Burleson, so I'm going to put my personality in it. But
Which I
what I
want you to.
didn't do is that I didn't change the recipe overly so. And I think when I was younger, I might have. But the older I get, the more aware I am of what I don't know. And so what I did is I did your program with my personality and it's working
Mm. And getting better every single week, which is
every
great.
time. Every time. Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing to point out because a lot of people they think I want them to do exactly what I'm doing and say the words exactly how I
No,
say it. But guess
no.
what? Like a carbon copy is never the same quality. It's never
Right.
gonna work that way. You have to put your own spices on it. Now you want to
Right.
follow the structure and the system and try your best, but but you really got to be within your system, right? Like you don't teach
Yeah.
the moves the same way I teach them. You don't have to say the same
Right.
words, right?
Right.
You don't even use the same language, right? A lot of
Right.
times the class that we use. So you're allowed to put your own personality to it. In fact, I encourage it so it's more authentic with who you are. You're not just copying.
Right.
Okay, so as a result of implementing the Triangle Codex, and by the way, we've only done really like
Two,
one and a half of the
one
third.
and a half.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we haven't even fully implemented yet. What has been the outcome?
The outcome is, I don't know if I've ever enrolled 27 students in a month before in my life. And my life means, I'm not a math wizard, clearly. But that's 30 plus years, 36 years of teaching. I don't think I've ever enrolled 27 students in a month.
Hmm.
And I've got 27 happy students, and I have a school of people. I've pre-framed it and I've connected with my existing students to a point, authentically enough, to a point where they're happy to see the growth in our school because they love our school.
Hmm.
Not like, who the heck are all these people and why are they here? Um, they're cheering me on and Legends Martial Arts on because they want the school to grow.
Hmm. That's beautiful culture that you guys have.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like this is like a one-off thing? Like, okay, cool, yeah, I got a bunch of students in 1 month, or do you feel like this is repeatable?
No, no, no. This is here's the thing, man. I'm not saying I'll never pay a digital marketer again. Um, but
I
I
encourage you
almost
to.
feel,
I want you to
yeah,
later. That way you
I'm
have
not
that
saying I
also.
won't do it. I'm saying that I now don't feel like I'm at the mercy of an industry that I have no desire to understand. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And I think what that's honest, right? Because most people won't say that. They won't say that out loud. That
Well,
they're
it's
only
like if
saying.
you found out that in sparring, the only way you were going to get good is to do an elevated jump spinning heel kick. And after three knee surgeries, I don't do those anymore.
Right.
Right. What you've done is you've showed me, you know what, I can show you how to do the same thing with a jab, cross hook, front kick, which is in my repertoire. I can do that.
Mm.
And you know, there are things that I've had to learn how to do that I hate doing in business, just so I don't have to work for someone else. Um, but learning that secret mystical world of of digital marketing and advertising, it's just not, my heart's not in it. I don't want to understand it.
Mm.
But you give me a way to do marketing and advertising where it's very people based.
Cool. So how are things different now? Now that you have, so we did the past 10 weeks, first couple weeks we're kind of revving up, setting it up, and the last 4, 5, 6 weeks have been like actually executing. So you had a really strong last 6 weeks. So as we actually implemented everything. So how's life different now?
Well, you know, my stress level has gone down an incredible amount. You know, our profit margin wasn't high. We're not, you know, we've never operated as a super high profit margin. So losing 40 students with no idea of how to get them back. And again, this is just over several months of attrition. You know, a 275 student school over 6 months can lose 40 students without doing it wrong. If you didn't have a way of getting new ones in the door. Um, and I feel like I've got my hands back on the steering wheel,
Hmm.
which is a
Okay.
great feeling to have.
Hmm. So where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't join the program? If you didn't figure out how to do this organic stuff, what would you be doing?
Um, well, I'm desperation probably could have driven me to do just about anything. You know, I would have, honestly, I can tell you exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be working my butt off, throwing stuff up against the wall to see if it sticks the way I've done for 20, 30 years. And it's anybody's guess whether it would have been effective.
Hmm. And
You know, begging to be in trade schools, going and teaching a day of PE classes, not knowing if it was going to deliver anybody into my school.
hmm. So if there's someone watching this and they are on the fence about joining, they're not sure if it's right for them. They don't know if it'll work in their area. Maybe they tried before and it didn't work. Oh, I've done school stuff. I've seen school stuff. Oh, tried daycares, or I don't want to deal with little kids. Well, you don't have to deal with daycare. It's like just an option, right? It's like one of the three things. But what would you tell them?
Well, uh, I would tell them that your system works, but there's a caveat. The caveat is if you walk into a karate school to learn karate and you already know everything before you walk in the door, it's not going to do you any good. You know, one of the things that I think is that I'm very proud of about me is that I'm a good student, and I'm aware of where I fall short, and I'm willing to learn and to hear things. So I would say definitely do your system, um, but you have to keep an open mind and realize that even if it sounds similar to something you've done, it might not be the way you've done it. And you know, I'm following your recipe, but I'm putting my own love in it. But it's very important to follow the recipe. And so that would be my suggestion. Definitely try it, but be open-minded enough to know that um, even though it might sound similar to something you've done, there are differences
Hmm.
that I have learned and been willing to go, you know what, this is different, but I'm going to try it.
Hmm.
And trying the differences is why I think it worked.
Hmm. Beautiful. And so it always goes back to the saying that I love is small hinges swing big doors.
Yeah,
Right?
right,
It's just a little type of change that will really make a huge difference. It's never
yeah,
like this magic bullet. It's a
right,
it's 1,000 silver pellets.
yeah. Like Atomic Habits, that book changed my life.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much for being on here. Thanks. I'm really excited to see what we do when we implement the other part of the Triumph Codex, another
I
like
know.
one and a half of them. Like, uh, You might have to, I don't know, hire some new instructors or increase the class schedule or increase tuition, something.
You know what I'm going to do? I have had my heart set on a max capacity waiting list school for a long time. I would very much love to say, all right, guys, I'd love to sign you up. As soon as somebody quits, be happy to do it. And that's a might be cocky, but I can dream.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Thank you so much, Chance.
Take care, buddy.